Tell Me Something Good. I'm your host, Mary Sampey. Today we are here at CalU University talking to Michaela Tubbs and Dr. Jessica Swords. They're both passionate about animals and they saw a real need in their local community, and they are raising awareness and money for an organization called CalU Cats. I hope you'll join us so we can find out more about what inspires these two ladies to do the great work that they're doing. I am here at CalU on this gorgeous campus on a little bit of a dreary day, but we're going to talk about some really positive news for you. We have Michaela Tubbs. Thank you so much for joining us. And Dr. Jessica Swords, thank you so much for being here. Michaela, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am a senior biology major here at Cal. I'm originally from DuBois, Pennsylvania.
Very good. Thank you so much. Dr. Jessica, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been a small animal veterinarian for 11 years now, and I've worked at CalU these past 2 years. We actually have a fairly new veterinary technology program here on campus. It started about 3 years ago. So I was brought in after that initial year, once we had a real need for someone with a small animal background. So I mainly teach in the veterinary technology department, but I still have some crossover with our pre-veterinary students. That's kind of how I got involved with Michaela in her thesis project here. But mainly I teach the veterinary technology students. So those students were essentially training to be our nurses once we get out into the field. So yeah, it's been a change from private practice, but
Absolutely.
it's been a really good change. I love to teach, and
Wonderful.
in private practice, we rarely get that opportunity because things are so fast paced, and we're trying to teach these students who are in on internships, but we're trying to manage our time while we're doing that.
Right.
So me just being able to teach as my regular job has been really, really exciting for me.
That's incredible. So you've been here, you said 3 years. So kind of in the midst of, even in the pandemic, you kind of started, which I'm sure was kind of scary.
Yes, and
especially
with it being a technology hands-on based program, yes, that was very, very difficult for that first year. But now things are getting back to normal, and we actually have kennels over there that we have beagles in. We have a population of both rabbits and rats that we're working hands-on skills for students who are taking exotic animal medicine right now, as well as this spring I'm teaching courses in surgery and anesthesia. So these students are getting hands-on surgical experience with our canine patients over there.
That is so impressive. I really want to see those beagles after this. Can we go check out?
Absolutely.
Are there puppies?
They are about 10 months old now at this point. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I would be living there. I'm just telling you. I don't know about the rats, but I could hang out with the beagles for sure.
The rats actually make excellent pets. Like, they've gotten to the point now, when you go over there, they're like up at the front of the cage, like wanting to interact with people at this point.
You're definitely in the right field because you seem very passionate about the rats, where I'm getting really stressed out just thinking about it and getting a little bit sweaty over here. So you've been here 3 years. And did you meet Michaela when you first came, or how did you guys get to know each other?
So for Michaela's thesis project, it's a little out of the realm of your typical biology major thesis, so to speak. So she was having trouble finding the right faculty advisor for what she was doing her thesis on. So they had actually reached out to our program director. So basically the veterinarians in our program are myself and Dr. Nancy Pugh, but she mainly handles the large animal side of things. So they reached out to her, and she was like, well, I don't really get into cats and the small animal side of things. So she forwarded that information on to me, and you had been bounced around several times with different advisors. So
yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah, so I'm like, I can definitely help this student.
Help
This
her
is
out.
something I have a lot of experience with.
Yeah.
And it's something that, these cats, we need to bring attention that, that this is truly a problem as well.
That's really exciting to hear because, really, Michaela, we're going to talk a little bit about you and what kind of drove you to even do this in the first place. But to hear that this is almost something that didn't even really exist on this campus, that this was something that you were bringing completely new and that they were able to adapt and to help you with this and then potentially form a new part of their program. That's pretty awesome that, you were the one that kind of brought that to light. So tell me a little bit about your journey through biology and what has gotten you inspired to do your thesis and the kinds of work that you're doing.
Well, I guess ever since I was little, I always thought that I wanted to be a vet. I've always loved animals. My mom and I fed all the stray cats in our neighborhood, and at one point we had 10 cats in our house at once, and they were all strays that we had rescued.
Wow.
And so when I was school searching, I decided to go to Cal, and they had like the pre-veterinary medicine concentration and the biology major.
I see.
And, my first few years here, my plans were, afterwards I would go to vet school and become like a small animal cat dog vet. And then I realized that I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
So now I'm more interested in like exotic animals, but I still have a soft spot for cats and dogs because I grew up with a house full of them.
Yes.
And so when it came time to start planning for my thesis, I just had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. And, living in Cal for the last 4 years, I've become very aware of the large quantity of cats that are around campus and in town. And people even call them mon cats because we're right by the Monongahela River. And,
that's awesome.
I've always seen...
Almost seems like the musical Cats they could create their own musical about mon cats.
Yeah, like I think they have a little house like at the one bus stop down in the parking lot. Like they're everywhere.
Wow.
And, that really started to make me sad because, what's going on?
There wasn't really anything being done there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, then I just started thinking, the community must just not know enough to control their population.
Right.
Or, there's just not enough funds available or things like that. And so even though I'm, my major is biology and everything should be experimental and things like that, I decided I wanted to go a more community-based approach.
Wow. And
so that's whenever I reached out to Dr. Swords, and she agreed to work with me. And so then and also my one cat that I have, he actually is from town.
He's a mon cat.
He is, yeah. He, one day I was just walking, I think, to Subway to get food, and he, ran across the street, and I saw him almost get hit by a car, and so I followed him, and I took him home with me, and I, posted on Facebook groups, and I even put up a couple flyers, and I was like, if this is your cat, I have him, and nobody ever said anything, so he just became my cat. And, for him, his name is Toothless, because he looks just like the dragon.
Oh, yes, from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute. So he's a black cat.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And, he had a happy ending, but,
yes.
Then I just think about all the cats
cats
don't, possibly didn't have that happy ending.
So what was your next step? Did you think, okay, I need to do something, or what can I do? what was your next step? You know, you're tying this into your thesis, but then also something tangible that's actually going to be done to help these animals. So what was your next step after that?
My next step was reaching out to other like actual groups and organizations that are already doing that work, like rescuing cats and doing the TNR, trap, neuter, release programs. And so I basically just got on Facebook and looked up like cat
Different
rescues
organizations, yeah.
in my area. And I found a couple and I joined them just to, see what they were all doing. And then after I found one that was local, then I reached out to them. And
so you found CalU Cats. So this was an organization that was already in existence.
Yep.
That you thought, I want to get involved with them somehow. I want to see what they're doing. So what kinds of things is CalU Cats doing? They're located here, of course, locally. What do they do here?
I think a big thing that they do is the trap, neuter, release, which is, the stray or feral cats in the area. They trap them and then they get them vetted and spayed or neutered. And then if they're too feral to be adopted out, then they just release them back to their original habitat, like where they're comfortable. But then if they are able to be socialized, then a lot of them get adopted. So
very nice. Very nice. So you got involved with them, and then you reached out to Dr. Swords, and she became your advisor. And as someone who, as a teacher and as a professional, as someone who cares about animals, what was your reaction when she reached out to you, someone young who actually really cares about these animals, who, otherwise not a lot is already being done? What was your reaction to that?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a positive one, because if you ask anyone around this campus, they know the cats are here. They know there's a problem. Everyone knows there's a problem, but yet no one wants to take the initiative to get together and figure out what can we do to solve this problem. So putting the word out there, that this is an issue and there are some things that we can do to fix this problem, that's what we're attempting to do.
That's awesome. That's really incredible, because I think so often, sometimes as adults, we just think, oh, well, it's a problem. It's someone else's problem, or we think it's too big of a problem. And sometimes it takes a young person to say, no, there is something that we could be doing more, just to let people know that this is happening and to make people aware. I know certainly I wouldn't have been aware of it. So tell me a little bit about your thesis and what's been going on with that.
Well, part of it, I just wrote a paper on the ways, or kind of like the roles and responsibilities that communities have in regards to controlling the cat population, and ways that people can get involved to help out and why it's a benefit. And I discuss like the consequences of a species overpopulation and how it can just affect the whole ecology of the environment. Like I've heard a lot of people say like, wow, this college campus just has no squirrels. And, there really are like no squirrels on campus. And I think it's because of the amount of cats.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't really think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never thought about that.
And I just talk about, it's sort of like advocacy for the cats and just informational for the people that, maybe didn't think much about it or, want to help but don't really know how to help. And
awesome. I think that's really helpful, because when it's something that's specific, like cats, someone like me who thinks, well, I might not be a cat person, or I might not be interested. What does this have to do with me? why should I really care about this issue when there's a lot of other issues going on? But I love the fact that you made it so this is why you should care, because this does affect our environment and this does affect other people around us and our campus and all of those other things. And so people that might have otherwise not gotten involved, when they see those other reasons of why it affects them, that's really when they start caring about it. But for you, what do you think is the thing that really makes you care about this issue? Or what is the thing that motivates you to care about it?
I think just my love for animals, and I guess I just have a soft spot for animals, and I just hate to see any creature that appears to be suffering or like not in the best situation that it could be. And like it's not the cat's faults that they live outside, and because a lot of people in a community, they don't care about stray cats because they don't belong to anybody and they're not friendly or whatever. And every cat that I've brought in from outside, they've become socialized and they've become like my best friend. And the overpopulation of cats is really sort of a human problem. Like we cause it. Either students take in a cat and whenever they move home after they graduate, they can't take the cat with them, so then they just let it back outside. Or, people get a cat and they let it go outside because, they think, oh, it's good for the cat to go outside. But then they never get it spayed or neutered, so then they go and have babies. And in like one breeding season of cats, a lot of babies are born.
Yeah. I could only imagine.
On average, I'd say an intact female cat has about 18 kittens a year, a breeding season. Over a lifetime, we're talking maybe upwards of 100 kittens per cat. So
my goodness.
Yes, they're very prolific breeders.
Cats are busy down at the Mon. They have things to do. Yeah, I just think it's really inspiring. Do your friends get inspired by the stuff that you're doing, or do they think it's kind of like different or strange, or have they been pretty supportive about it?
I would say my friends and family have been very supportive. I've told them, because I'm a biology major, like it's normal to do something with the scientific method, do an experiment. And, then I say, well, instead I'm going to raise awareness and, talk about something else. And so, I think it's just it's just different. And
it is.
Everybody...
It is different. And what I like about it is a lot of people and a lot of young people in your position could have said, oh, I'm just going to do something just to get it done, kind of, to check the box and say, oh, I did this. But what you did is say, I want to do something that I'm actually passionate about and that I care about. And I'm not just going to phone this in. And I'm really going to take the time to make this something that could actually have an impact, which is super impressive because I think it's going to mean so much more to a lot of people. And it really indicates the kind of person that you are, the kind of drive that you have, the kind of motivation, and the kind of person that you're going to be moving forward after graduation. So talking about that, you're almost done. It's like you see the end in sight.
About a month left.
And you will graduate. And what are your plans after that?
Well, I don't have a solid plan yet. This semester I've been doing an internship at an exotic zoo. And
that's cool.
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of different animals and just learned a lot. And I think I might stay with them for the summer at least. And I feel like I'll probably stay in this general area, like, maybe up more towards Pittsburgh or whatever. And I've realized, I love cats and dogs, and, I've shadowed vets' offices, and it's all very interesting, and I like it, but I just couldn't see myself as just being, a veterinarian for the rest of my life. And, with exotic animals, there's just so much more.
What kind of exotic animal? Where is this zoo, first of all? Is it near here? Can you drive there?
It's in Bentleyville.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kinds of animals do they have there?
They have bears, binturongs, which are like...
I don't know what that is.
They're bear cats.
Okay. I know what a bear cat is because I went to St. Vincent and we were the bear cat.
And they have lions and tigers, wolves, different birds, just so many lemurs, monkeys.
And you've been able to work hands-on with a lot of these animals. What do you do there usually as part of this internship?
I prepare diets usually. I go there and we change their waters and like clean their enclosures, and then I help prepare diets and feed out.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Do you get to play with any of the baby animals? I'm really all about the babies. We're going to go see the baby puppies after this. Then we're going to drive to Bentleyville and hang out with the baby cubs.
There haven't been very many babies since I've been there. I've only been there since the end of January.
Okay.
But, even just seeing all of them and, it's just all the different behaviors of the different animals. Like, even there's multiple kangaroos, and they're all just so very different. And so you can really see, like, their different personalities coming through, and it's just so interesting.
That's awesome.
And I love it there.
That's great. That's great. So I think it's great that you're really open and that you're doing all of this. And you have an event coming up. Let's talk just for a minute about the event that you have. It's a bingo event to raise awareness for CalU cats, is it not?
Yeah, and also just to raise some money for them, because they have people sponsor the cats that they get in, and that covers like their vaccinations and the vetting bills and things like that.
Awesome.
And so they're always in need of funds for the cat food, cat litter, and just the basic necessities.
And you're having that on campus. It's awesome that the campus is being supportive. I think it's incredible. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. And thank you for being a mentor to her. And I'm sure that's inspiring to you as an educator and as someone in the field to know that there's someone that's going to be taking this on throughout the generations and to care for these animals. It's really amazing. So thank you, ladies, so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Take him. Let's go, run. Yeah. Come home with me.
I hope you were inspired by the story of Michaela and all of the fantastic work that she's doing. I know that I was inspired first just being with these animals, seeing the love and care that the university shows for these creatures, and the inspiration of all of the things that Michaela is doing, that she cares enough about these animals in our local community to not only go the extra step and change and make a difference, but also to get her other students involved, the faculty, the staff, and the larger community to address a larger problem. It's really inspiring for someone as young as she is. I hope that you were inspired today. Thank you so much for joining us on Tell Me Something Good. We'll see you next time.